something else.
about the OUYA updating to Android 4.2, which is what I think
Uh,
Jelly Bean
there
or
was one before that.
mm,
Where is Eldon?
and we're live. Welcome to the OUYACast episode 15, recorded on March 1st, 2015. Your weekly source for latest news, games, and hacks for OUYAns everywhere. I'm Brandon from OUYACentral.tv.
And I'm Steve from OUYABrew.com. And Brandon, you said episode 15, man. It's episode 50, 50.
I thought I said 50.
I think you said 15. I
I,
could be wrong.
I probably did say 15.
That was 15.
Episode 50. You know, I had to mess up on our 50th
He got so
episode.
excited he couldn't even say the number right, man.
I know, I'm looking at it right in front of me, too.
This is episode 50, which means we've been. I think we should be at episode 52, obviously, for our 1 year. For our 1 year anniversary, which was last episode, was that?
Right. No, 2 episodes
But
ago.
2 episodes, yeah. But obviously, we had to take a few weeks off here and there, Christmas and things of that nature. So this is our episode 50, half of 100. That's a big deal, man. I feel like we've accomplished something here. And we've got ourselves a very special guest commentator to help us with this momentous occasion. I am Killswitch, moderator of OUYA Forum, all around, awesome guy. Uh, you know, very long-winded talker, much like me. Probably handsome. I don't really know. I don't know. But welcome. I am Killswitch.
Hi everyone, Killswitch, admin of OUYA Forum, developer, person everyone asks questions, all around guy.
Awesome.
Exactly.
So you're what you call that? The OUYA guy by day, right? Or OUYA developer by night? And are you an MMA fighter by day?
I try.
You try. Because the other day I was looking up I am Killswitch and I ran into MMA fighter. I was like, I don't think that's him.
Why not, man?
And I have tried it in the past.
But no, I'll pass on that.
No comment. Well, hey, I know we got a bunch of stuff to get to. We're definitely a little bit specifically about OUYA Forum, new things happening over there. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about our previous episodes, number 1 through 49, just sporadic, not every one of them. Kind of touch on a few of our past topics, things, games that we've talked about, events that we've talked about, and, how it's translated into today as opposed to when we first broadcast it. So let's actually get to the OUYA Forum first. Let's talk about that, man. How's it going over there?
Well, I'd say there's good, there's some bad, but it's somewhere in the middle. Um,
So you're on a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. Is that what I'm getting?
I'd say 7. We're
That's a good
trying to
number.
keep things going, but the lack of news is kind of hurting the forum.
Yeah.
Because obviously you
So
have to have something to talk about.
Right.
very, very true. Very true. So I don't know. Did you happen to catch on OUYABrew.com the last post that we had made was about a job posting for a new financial head of finances, and one of the things that they had said on there was that the reason they're looking for that position was to lead them into their next console development. Their new console.
Yeah, we did have that posted on the forum. Of course, met with skepticism by a few people because there's no news. No one knows if this thing is going to happen or not.
Right.
Because obviously, if you
What do
want
you
it to
think
happen,
personally?
well, I think if you want this thing to happen, you have to be out there talking about it, creating news, getting people excited. Because you don't want to drop it on the public and then nobody knows it's there.
Hmm.
You know,
And so, and I kind of agree with that definitely. If you've listened, I know you've listened and been a part of a few of our last shows, but um, that there's one thing that Ouya is good at. It's kind of keeping that kind of news to themselves, and it may be because of one or two people, or maybe a group of people within inside the Ouya team there. The main movers and shakers that they've kind of learned from experience not to say something too early and then have to backpedal. But I agree. People want to keep it alive. We've got a very strong Ouya community here, and we want to make sure that we perpetuate the good news as well as get developers on board for any future projects. So I'm 100% with you there, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually made a post earlier today. I was trying not to say anything, but if you recall, it was me, Riot Inspector, a few other people, always out there saying, "Hey, here's Ouya, here's this, the positive," trying to get people on board.
Hmm.
But when you're met with no news, no information, it's kind of hard to keep that going and to bring those developers in. Like right now, I'm talking to three different developers about porting their games. I may end up doing the port if I can at least get that agreement because they see it as a dead console since
Hmm.
there's no news.
Right.
So
And
maybe
aside from
it's
just coming out and giving more news about it, what do you think that Ouya can do? I mean, they've got the dev support hours. They've got you know, they've got a lot of inner workings happening to get the Ouya expanded as far as the Ouya everywhere, especially with the deals with Alibaba and things like that. What else would you recommend as far as if it was you, let's say you were the sole shot caller, what would
mm,
you do aside from just coming out and saying, hey, this is Ouya 2, it's going to be here in 2017?
wow, soul shot caller. Yeah, I could go off in a bunch of different directions on that one, but um, for example, you had a social media director or whatever the position was called at the
The
time.
community manager.
That's it.
Yeah.
Community manager had a personal account and didn't seem to have like an Ouya account, and then the Play Ouya account. So it's the Play Ouya, personal, and no other one. Now, when you would see her tweet, it would be Sony this, Microsoft this, maybe two tweets about Ouya in about a year, and that shouldn't be. Uh, they can take cues from a company like Eat24. They have almost a perfect Twitter account. They engage the customer. And that's where Ouya's dropping the ball. They're not engaging the customer. Talk to the devs all you want, but if you don't engage the people buying the games, the developers aren't going to be there. They don't want to drop a game and have no one paying attention.
Right.
Hmm.
It's even on the news angle. You don't have to fight every story. There was a time where we were fighting the stories for them,
Hmm.
but at least put something out there because you would have the Verge article, Ouya is dead. 20 different sites will parrot uh, that same post,
Right.
and then it just keeps going over and over. You do a search for Ouya, and that's all you see. You don't see um, whatever positive news they've had in that time.
Right.
Make a fake story, fluff story. Um, Amazing Frog gets a girlfriend. Do something. Just
Did you
anything
happen
to.
to catch the last episode?
I did listen to it this morning.
There was absolutely no mention of a girlfriend in there, man.
See, they could have started the rumor.
Awesome. Well, I definitely hear that.
Yeah.
The one thing about Ouya Forum that I think I personally like more than any other section about that, maybe even not even the news section, although I do frequent that very often. And I'm sure if you checked my login history, you'd see it's pretty sporadic. But the one thing that I like is I like to look at the hacks and the mods And it seemed like when the Ouya first came out, there was just so many of them. But because a lot of the hacked them off, like, hey, I made a case out of this, I made a case out of that. It kind of got a little bit slow because we were looking at people kind of getting ridiculous with some of them, like, oh, I made a case out of a cardboard cereal box. But then there were some really great ones. I remember the one where the guy made it and put it into the back of his truck in like a TV set in the headboard. There was quite a few really awesome mods. The guy who soldered in the 4-port USB hub and things like that. And I don't see a lot of that anymore. And I think that that's one area where we as a community can definitely shine, and especially on OUYAforum.com. See more of those hacks. Don't be afraid. I mean, I've bricked an Ouya trying to hack it and mess around with it, but that's the price you pay. And when you can achieve something awesome, share it with the community, because we all want to see it, and I personally want to see it. So,
Right.
Brandon, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Kind of like going with off of Killswitch's rant. He's famous for that on Twitter. But anyways, uh, I would like to see Ouya get out there, reach out to YouTubers about the Ouya console, where they have millions of subscribers that they can try to influence about, and say how good the game is and stuff, or the Ouya console and all the different games that you have they have available. Like even remember, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rated RR, Richard Ryan. He blows up iPhones and stuff. Send him a Ouya so he can blow the Ouya up.
Hmm.
Just different
Well,
stuff
That's a
like
good
that.
idea. I'll
I
send him
think.
mine.
Yeah, right.
that one might
My
be a
bricked
bad
one. My
idea.
bricked.
Just thinking about it, everyone thinks of, not everyone, but a lot of people think of the Ouya in a bad way. Blowing it up might be bad.
Hey, it might just start trending on Twitter about people blowing their Ouyas up. Everybody might just start doing it.
Oh God, no! Don't do that, man, because they're hard enough to find as it is. That's
Yeah.
another thing. Even if they don't
Oh,
want to address the Ouya 2 rumor, address the issue of not being able to find an Ouya, because unless you're on Craigslist, or eBay or something, they are difficult to come by, man. I've been looking.
hmm There was a
that's true.
Yeah, I ran into a guy on Twitter saying that he's thinking about getting one. I told him to do it, but I said good luck trying to find one, and he suggested going on Amazon, and I was like, I wouldn't try to go on Amazon because they're a little overpriced, and they're used. Where you can maybe find a brand new one on Ouya, on eBay, or even trying to find one available at a Target. They might have some left over at a Target near you.
The
eBay, man,
problem,
that's the place to get them at.
Yeah,
That's where I see most of them.
yeah.
the problem with that, they're still overpriced.
Just
But
just a
that right
little.
there is big. That 4 month window of no Ouyas. How can you even explain that?
Maybe the only thing I can hope for is that they can explain it with, why would you produce the original when the second one's coming out? That's
Yeah.
what I gotta say.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the same
Hopefully.
thing.
But then you have the reading rainbow thing, which, oh, that's just another issue in itself. But you're going to, because think about it. Everyone, you look at the forum, a lot of people joined the Reading Rainbow Kickstarter because they wanted the blue one.
hmm
It's like they ignore the fact that a lot of us want all those limited edition Ouyas. I mean, they're not the same as the metal. The metal ones, they shouldn't even be produced anymore. But you're telling the Reading Rainbow people that you're going to send metal ones? Why would you even do that at this point when it's the biggest issue you have with all your consoles?
hmm
So they
Well,
kind of
you
back.
just gotta get some decals, and you can turn yours into a blue one, and then some. I think it was a decal girl or something. Hey, man, I'm just saying, you want a cheap blue one? Go grab one. It's gonna take you $10, $15.
Throw some
It's
stickers
gonna
on
be the
it.
same specs. Yeah,
Or a 3D case.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
that would be.
talking about. I remember that Zelda looking cube one was pretty cool.
Heck yeah. So let's move on from this because I want to talk about some of our previous OUYAcast episodes. But before we get to that, Brandon, I know I'm fairly certain because of a tweet that you put out there that you got a $10 OUYA code. I, however, am poor because I'm moving in a month, so I'm only going to give away a $5 one. So I'm going to do that one first.
All
And
right.
if you're one of the guys listening, I'm going to give that away right now. So uh, maybe Judah can play a Ouya game. He can get the new
He can get the
what
new
is it? The new
animal math game bundle if he doesn't already
not what
have
I
it.
was thinking. Not what I was thinking. I
Come
was
on.
thinking the new pinball table, the Adams Family pinball table. That's the one I'm gonna buy as soon as we're done with this. All right, it's your $5 Ouya code. Get them ready. Let them go. First one to get it in, obviously you get the $5 credit. So it's gonna be G as in golf, P as in Papa, 6-2. W P D as in David M. That's M as in Martin. I don't know. I forget what the M is. T as in Tango. P as in Papa. Again, GP 62 WPD MTP. There's your $5. Enjoy.
Oh yeah. Well, speaking of
Killswitch. Stop writing that down. I know you are.
all right. Speaking of Ouya codes and money. We got some sales this week on the Ouya. We got tennis in the face, 50% off. So I'm not too sure how much you can pick that one up for because I already bought it. But you can get that until March
I
3rd,
believe it's 199.
199. And then the Animals Math Game Bundles just released this Tuesday that just passed. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you can pick those up for 4 games for 7.99, and they're educational games for your kids. So I was waiting because I remember hearing the bundle was coming out, so I was like, I'm gonna wait to pick up all of them at the same time. I let my daughter play them, and yeah, she would just keep on pressing X, even though like she got it wrong. She would just keep on going, try to get the star at the end. I was like, you're not learning. So yeah, I gotta.
We've been doing this for 50 episodes, and I honest to God don't even think I recall that you ever had a daughter.
What? Yeah, I have two.
Yeah, we've even met each other, and I don't think I recall you having a daughter.
No, I didn't bring them with me. But I'll have to
Hey, learn something new, man.
yeah, stick around. We'll learn you. Then also, Mitch Berry Challenge is of 50% off until the multiplayer DLC arrives. So you can pick that up for $1. It looks pretty interesting, and I'm probably gonna pick it up just so I can get it on sale early.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well,
Looking at my
since
Ouya right
you're
now.
plugging sales, can I plug a contest?
The contest. Yeah, they have in like less than 4 hours left, right?
Yep, less than 4 hours left for you to win IO. The game was actually an
Name the game.
IndieCade finalist. We have a contest going. Just try to beat some of the scores that are on the forum now, and you have a chance to win the game.
Awesome.
Terrific game, by the way. If you've never played it, play the demo because, my God, if you're not trying to get into that contest, there's something wrong with you. It's a great game.
Yeah, so I'll try to pull it up here so people can see what we're talking about because not that many people. I'm trying to guess what episode did we have them on the show?
I was
Let's
just looking
see.
at that too.
It was early, not
Um,
early, but it was probably about mid, around the 20s would be my guess. We didn't mark it.
32.
All right, thank you. Episode 32. If you want to watch that
Oh
later,
yeah, there it is.
that's what we talk
Also,
about IO.
you can play IO on which I need to update, man. But if you go to OUYABrew.com, you hover over the games section, and then you go to the OUYA Arcade. I believe that you can play IO on there. I don't think it's taken down just yet. Let me just check real quick.
You didn't get a
Yep.
cease and desist letter yet.
No, man, I linked straight to their website, so unless
Uh,
they took it down, which I haven't checked, I probably should, but yeah, you can play it still. So OUYABrew.com, hover over games, go down to OUYA Arcade. It's the first one on the second row or column. I guess that's a row. Right to left is row, right? Or is that column? Column is up and down.
yeah.
Yeah. So second row, first game, IO. Fun game. It's one of those games that I still haven't beat, not to this day, but it's so much fun.
Well, man, this chat is popping. We have like 6 people on in the chat right now. Let's see, free money. I'm trying to see if there's any questions in there.
Not yet says he's got a $5 credit coming towards some sweet pinball. See, at least he's gonna use it on that Adams Family pinball game. That's all I care about. So let's pick an episode at random and talk about what that game or subject has been doing since we went and reviewed it. Let's say, what do we got here? Well, let me just scroll here. And I will let Killswitch take the first comment. Let's go with episode 34, Game a Week. Of course, our man, our buddy,
You know,
J and K.
he just recently came into some money on Twitter. He announced.
Really?
Yeah, so he said he was gonna offer all his games on Ouya for free.
His games are already free on the Ouya.
They're gonna be freer. No.
Okay. So, Killswitch, have you ever played any of the Game a Week games from J and K?
Yes, I have, and I believe he was my first interview, either first or no, second interview.
Okay.
Oh, lucky man. How long did it take us to get him on here?
Let's see. We should have him on here. Well, yeah, you said 30.
Was that? Well, I guess that was episode 34 is what we're
Yeah.
talking about. So
Yeah.
it took us 34 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was my second interview. I knew of him from a long time ago because I came across his site many times. So that was even before Ouya came around.
Okay.
I don't know what to say. He can really pump out all these games in such a short period.
All right.
I mean, sometimes I would talk to him on Tuesday. He hasn't started. Then by Friday, he's like already done. You know.
Well, it seems like he's got, his base is down. He's got, very, I don't want to say formulaic, but he's got his characters down. He's got his style down. So after he does it, for those first couple of games, it seems like all he's got to do is continuously use the same kind of format, and he's got himself a new game with a different premise. And I think that's what he kind of was going at with the Advent calendar, game where when he was doing it for Christmas, he was doing little mini games inside of a bigger game, which Ouya Central hacked and then later regretted because it ended up screwing up something else, if I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was
But
created.
yeah, he's really good.
Games.
And most of
Yeah,
most of
give him
yeah.
credit for doing that.
yeah, even some of his his Spike Dislike games have like multiple games within it where you have to unlock certain guess maps or levels or whatever. Let me see.
In that short period. I couldn't do it.
I'm pretty sure he just doesn't sleep whatsoever. But it's funny you mentioned the Spike Dislike because I don't know if you had seen, but I was actually at work the other day, and it's one of the very very few times during my workday when I had some downtime. So I was looking at my iPhone and was messing with my Pebble Watch, and I'm scrolling through the games. And if you own a Pebble Watch, at least the original Pebble Watch, that the games on there are nothing special. They're black and white. It's very rudimentary type games. But one game in particular caught my eye, which was that he put Spike Dislike. It's called Spike Dislike Junior on the watch, and it plays almost just as good as the Ouya version, with the exception that it has no color to it whatsoever, because it's unless you got one of the brand new Ouya, or I'm sorry, Pebble Watches that they just announced last week, there's no color to it. But it's just funny. It's like, wow, man, of all the games, of all the gin joints in all the world, it's, here's a guy that we've interviewed and he has a game on my watch. I thought that was so cool.
that's cool. So
What are
what?
you still looking up?
I was gonna say, Killswitch. What's one of your favorite games from J and K?
What's I can't think of the name. It's box explodings.
Oh yeah, box floating.
I love
Box
that
floating.
game.
Even though most of the games that I gravitate towards will be action or adventure, that one for whatever reason kept my attention.
Oh yeah, and space popcorn had my attention. I had fun with that one.
I'm trying to remember. Box Explodings. That was the one. Yeah. There's
Yeah, I think that's like
yeah. Okay.
that game that he
That's
came.
the one that I kind of liked.
Mm-hmm. Because there was another
And
game that
there's
you said is
another game.
similar to it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually looking at it right now because I have it downloaded. Hold on. Let me just get over to it. It is called Chain Reaction. Chain Reaction is like a more like a neon version of Box Explodings, all if you can imagine, because Box Explodings is pretty neon too. But no, he comes out with such great games, and they're simple, but they're just fun, and that's the beauty of J and K there.
Yeah.
So let's move on to a different episode here. Episode 24 of the OUYA Cast. We talked about Duck Game. That was
That was right before.
uh,
That was right before he came out with the single player update. So I was trying to play Duck Game by myself, and it wasn't working.
that was also before the trial, if I recall. Is that right?
Or I think it was close to it, either right before it or right after it. But yeah, just as close.
Killswitch. How did you like Duck Game?
It's a great game. Obviously, more fun with more people.
Yeah.
Um, I believe I actually interviewed Landon, I believe, right before the game came out or right after it came out. So the trial, the single player, none of that was there at the time.
Hmm.
One day, cousin just happened to drop by, so we were able to play.
Yeah. 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 I think I took it. Yeah, I took it to my brother's house, and played with my two brothers, and we had fun.
Yeah,
And now
nice
since
little
the games
game,
come out, don't they have the community content editor in there now? I haven't actually played it in like probably a couple months, so I don't know, but I think they have the community content editor.
Yeah, that game has it. I'm not too sure if you can share what you.
is it active in the
Wasn't that
game?
the whole point of that update?
Well, I think. See, I don't know if there's any developers that actually are like implemented it yet. Because I know
Yeah,
Phil Royer is coming out with Battle Room, and that one is supposed to have it implemented.
because
And yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Starfighter was also building levels and posting them on the forum.
But is there any way you can? So when he did them, did he like back them up and then upload them to the forum?
That I believe they're on the forum somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I would have to find the thread, but that's why I wasn't sure if the community content part was actually in the game.
Yeah, because I know there's quite a few games that actually have um, where you can create your own levels and stuff. There's what? What's that other game? Something to do with drawing. Draw Writer, I think.
Draw
Yeah,
Writer?
yeah. That one's you can pick it up for $1.99, and it has a level editor and also online mode. And so like the level editor, you once you create a level, you can actually share it with your friends, and then they can um, try them out too. But see, that I think that's built into their end, I guess. They have, I guess, their own server or whatever because it's. I think this game is also like on Android and iOS. Yeah, more than 6 million downloads over all over the world on iOS and Android.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Man, I'm just aiming for 6 downloads.
Gotta
That's a
start
lot.
somewhere, man.
And I mean, look at it. The game is simple. It's just lines, a stick figure man riding a bicycle.
Well, I mean, people have made greater success with less. I mean, look at Flappy Bird, for God's sake.
Oh,
Jeez.
don't
I don't know
mention
how
it.
that happened, but
Did we
I think somebody's paid off for that one.
did we get any clones of the second game that he came out with? Was it Chopter? I forgot the name of that one. Yeah, and then there's also that Dirt Bike game that has community content, but it's not Ouya's community content. It's, I guess, their own. Thanks, Eldon. Shout outs to everybody in the
Oh,
chat.
Ellen just says not to ever mention that game again.
He's like,
I agree.
oops. Oh yeah, I forgot.
All right, well then let's move on because we got at least one more episode to cover, which I know that we could talk a little bit more about. Episode 37, featuring Bomb Squad and Meltdown and Race for Your Life. That was like a mega episode there. Let's talk about Bomb Squad first. I know that during our Ouyan edition, our very first Ouyan edition, which I believe was around that same time, it was. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was episode 28. So episode 28, I believe we played Bomb Squad, and we had Eldon there, and his I think his son was. We were talking about that a little bit earlier in the chat session here, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, that was like way better than our last one where we played that horrible first-person shooter game that I don't know who thought they should put that in the list, but it sucked. But the first Ouyan edition, we played Bomb Squad, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, that was I think probably most of our first time actually playing online with that one. Because I
Yeah,
think
Bomb Squad's
that's
a great game, but Eldon's son, that kid is good.
I was gonna say, I was gonna call hacks, but obviously I don't think you can do that on a on an Ouya. He's just that good.
hey Judah. I just saw the interview you had with Eldon and Judah, and I was just cracking up when you started asking Judah some questions. It was my favorite part of the interview.
And he just wanted to be part of the show.
Yeah, he was just say bye. He kept on going. It was funny.
Hey man, that's how you get. It's so funny because just like a lot of people, I grew up in the Atari Nintendo generation, and God, man, I recall being so fast and my reflexes being so good at those games, and now you try to go back and play those games, and it's like, wow, man, either I'm getting old or that was much harder than I realized back then. I don't know, and then you got kids like Judah there, bringing us to class and letting us know exactly how it's done. So,
Oh yeah.
And since he's
but it
homeschooled,
happens.
I think Eldon just gives him an hour to play the game, and that calls that a class.
That's true.
It's art class, man. That's all that is. But then we also played in that same episode we played Meltdown. Now, Brandon, that's your game, so take us through some Meltdown.
Well, Meltdown and Duck Game, not Duck Game. Uh, what was it Amazing Frog? They both of those games come out with updates like crazy. Um, Meltdown has first started off as just a single player online game, and then they just had a recent update to include co-op multiplayer, even on PvP up to 4 players locally. So that's I haven't tried that out yet, but I mean that game is pretty cool. especially the online feature where you can jump into other people's games with them and help them out. Because I believe that game, yeah, I tried that game out, trying solo, and it's kind of difficult, and so it helps if you can get some other people in there with you and help you out, especially if you want to level up. And it has like tons of leveling up power ups. Your specialist, soldier, medic. You can upgrade your weapons, upgrade your armor. You can they had added new like costumes. You can get a hat, a bandana. Pretty cool game.
Yeah, that one was actually pretty easy to get a bunch of people involved with when you hosted a game and then had somebody else, join you.
Mhm. Not difficult at all on that one.
Definitely.
And Killswitch.
I even had a day where I was just in there playing, invited people in one of the new sections of the forum,
Mhm.
uh, gaming gatherings, so that people can get together and do things like that.
Right.
For the most part, it was me, Isaac, who's on the forum, and Jeffrey, and we just went to work. People know if I'm there in Meltdown, I'm there to help you level up. They see the guy with the big armor, they know what to do. And unfortunately, that game is, I mean, it's on other systems, but that's one of the best games on the Ouya, and they don't showcase it. Like when you're showing people what the console can do, that game is a perfect example of what it can do.
Yeah.
Instead of showing, some smaller pixelated game, show what the processor can pull off.
Yeah, they did a Ouya Presents for
So
that one.
let me
Yeah,
ask you
but
this, Killswitch.
mhm.
If you could give three games that you would use to show off, and you obviously got Meltdown as one of them. So if you could pick two other games that you would say this is the processing power of the Ouya, what would you choose as your other two?
Three games. Meltdown's a definite. Uh, I'll say Odd World. Because Stranger's Wrath, it looks like almost like how it did back when it first came out, and that is light years ahead of some of the stuff that we've been seeing. And then you have, hmm, maybe Wraithborn, but that can be slow for some people for whatever. I assume it's because of Unreal. Because for whatever
Hmm.
reason, the Unreal overhead slows things down on the Ouya. But if you're going to
Yeah,
show
it's very
what a
true.
game can
And then,
possibly look like, that one.
yeah, that's a good point. And then Unreal, what do you think about the whole Unreal Engine 4 compatibility now?
And it comes back to that overhead. If they can get the games running fine, it would be a great addition.
Mhm.
Especially since they made it a little more accessible for developers to get it with, I believe it's 19 a month or something like that.
Yeah, for Unreal.
Oh, did they? You don't have to buy like the full $100 license or something right off the bat?
No.
And
Oh.
they also have a royalty threshold too. So if you're making smaller games, you may never hit that threshold and have to pay them, I believe it's 5% or something like that.
Yeah.
Hmm. Alrighty. And then our last game that we played on that episode, just to wrap that episode up, and then we can talk about something else. But I know this is going to be one you want to talk about, Brandon, because it's like your new favorite game, which is Race for Your Life, which we played at our last Ouyan get together as one of our half-hour games there, which was a lot of fun. If I didn't have to do the update live and waste half my time, but so Killswitch, why don't you give us your opinion before you let Brandon taint it? What do you think about Race for Your Life?
The game reminds me of Super Sprint, which was a game that I used to play all the time. But for me, I was on that show, and my controller just happened to die right in the middle of the game. Sad.
Ran out of gas.
It happens, you know. I mean, that's the thing is you got to kind of just play with what you got there, and unfortunately, in your case, it didn't work out for you, but didn't work out for Brandon either. If I recall, I won most of those. That's what I recall in my mind. So,
Yeah.
Brandon, take us through it, man. How do you like it?
Oh yeah, that game is pretty cool. I like that one. If you don't if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up Race for Your Life on the Ouya. It's free to try now, and most of everybody that's probably listening played it before, but it's a pretty cool game. You can actually even go in there and challenge random people. So if they're not online at the time, you can challenge them, and eventually they'll race and then challenge you back, and you can go back and forth with that. I like that new feature that they added. They added some new maps. I like the night track, which is pretty cool. So you have your little car with its headlights on, racing around the track at night with no street lights on.
Yeah, not sure how I felt about that. I didn't like being blinded.
Yeah, man, after a while, you kind of figure it out once you get the hang of it. It was a pretty cool game.
Eldon says that it reminds him. Oh no, he says that he wishes they would add power ups to make it more like RC Pro Am. That RC Pro Am was probably one of my favorite original Nintendo games. That game is so much fun. I
Uh,
would, God, I'd love to see like them even. And that's the thing is Nintendo's never gonna port that because that was a fully like licensed Nintendo game. They'll never port it over. But man, that was that was a heck of a game. Although you could still play it on any of the emulators, which obviously the gray area of the legalities there. But maybe if you own the original cartridge, you can play the ROM. I don't really know how they want you to do it. Still a fun game.
all right, sounds good. So if you guys are ready, I'm about to give away a $10 Ouya code, and here we go. This one's gonna be all numbers. So we got 771-427-9680. That's it. 771-427-9680. Pick up a $10 Ouya code. Let us know if you pick it up and what game you're gonna get.
Now, how'd you manage to get one that was all numbers? I gotta like sound phonetically, the alphabet like I'm
Uh,
stuck in the jungle and you got all numbers. That's awesome.
well, these are the ones that are the codes that are available at Target for $10 cards.
Ah,
So, yeah.
so you're saying you're better than me?
No, no. I was just there looking
That,
for an Ouya so I can let someone know that there's one available, which they didn't have any available. They had like 10 of these cards available. No controllers. I don't know. You know what I wanted to say? I'm guessing. This is just my assumption. I'm thinking that Ouya is going to come out with the Ouya 2 sometime around June or July.
Mm.
I'm guessing, cause look, if you look at okay, when they came out with the original Ouya, it came out in June of 2013 on the 25th. Then almost a year later, a little more than a year later, they came out with the Ouya 1.2 or 1.5, the dark black one, and that one came out on July 15th, 2014. So they could be waiting for around that time to release the next Ouya. Who knows? And then plus, with the new deals with Exami, I think that's how you say it. You know, who knows? They could be actually manufacturing the new Ouya 2 for them. I don't see why not.
It would make
very
sense.
Mm-hmm.
true.
That could be part of
Well,
their $10 million.
let's let's circle all the way back around then as we close down our episode because it's getting around that time, not quite there yet, but around that time. Killswitch, you were strong opinionated about the subject. If Ouya does not release at least news about the Ouya 2, at what
Mm.
point do you think that even the Ouya fanboys, such as myself, yourself, Ouya
Yeah,
Central, are gonna start saying, "All right, that's it, we're
me too.
done." How much longer do you think they got to start giving us some good news?
Man, that's a hard question because I don't want to It's something I don't want to see
Yeah,
happen,
yeah,
but
same
it
here.
already is.
Well, I mean, I had the same, almost the same, pretense back when when they were changing their model of changing from everything free to try to everything now can be your choice. I was kind of skeptical about it. I was kind of nervous, like, oh, and what's gonna happen with to the OUYA? Is everybody gonna boycott it or what? So I was kind of nervous at the time, but I've seen they've come a long way, and they changed a lot of different policies that they had, especially with the Free the Games Fund. They switched that up to allow more games on there to come to the OUYA. So I
Yeah.
I'm very
See,
I'm very I don't know. It's
I partially agree with you,
yeah.
but as you know, I don't know how to describe this person because she drives me insane.
Oh yeah.
But it's kind of about
Don't you?
someone
Spectre.
who's been a partner in this whole thing. And you can see she wavered big time. So did many other people.
All right.
And it's your bigger supporters that are the ones feeling the brunt of this no news and everything because everyone's coming to them. Hey,
Mhm.
when's this happening? Where's this? And I deal with it on the forum.
Oh yeah.
Everyone knows if I'm there, you could ask me anything you want. I even have a thread where you can ask me whatever. And it comes up a lot. I hear from people, I don't know if I can keep doing this. If they don't update this, I'm not going to be here. And it's all because of one simple patient. When they were putting out little stories, or even the free to games when Julie came out with the apology,
Mhm.
everyone was
We
at
haven't
least
we
satisfied.
haven't heard from her since then.
Yeah, she does interviews. I can't get her in an interview for some, but that guy on Fox who hacked her up, that says something. If you can't let your community hear from the people who they were hearing from before, something's wrong there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The cap
So
be there.
let's put it out there right here and now. Then, if Julie agreed to do an interview with you, um, would you give her a fair and honest interview and not eat her alive like you said the guy at Fox did?
Of course. I mean, I've been wanting, but she has PR. I spoke to the PR person at one point. It seemed like everything was agreed to, and then all of a sudden, there's a new PR firm. And this new PR firm, I just didn't want to go through. They wanted questions emailed to them and all that. It's just a casual interview. You've seen all my interviews. Yeah, tomorrow? No, that's not going to happen. Just want to hear from her, see she's alive, know that. And I wouldn't think that that would be a hard request, especially after seeing that Fox interview.
I'm actually not familiar with that Fox interview, but you can bet that as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to look for it.
Oh yeah.
I think it's on the forum somewhere.
Everything's on the
It,
Oh
forum.
well, that shouldn't be too hard to find. There's only how many posts on there now?
yeah, I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, that was a hack interview. They just chopped her up, and why would you put her in that situation? Sure, it gets you on Fox and you're everywhere, but it made Ouya look horrible. It made her look bad. And why do you put her in those situations instead of a situation where the people just want to hear? The consumers are the biggest part of that business. And if they continue to get ignored, they won't be there.
Very well said. I try to, just like you, and it's so hard. It really is so hard to say something. I won't say bad, but say something that is not 100% positive about a company that you're vested in. We are all part of this community. We are all wanting Ouya to succeed, but even when you can't even give the community the answers or maybe just a little something to grasp onto, it gets hard, and like the thing that I know Brandon, you've held on to, especially about the Ouya 2, is Bob's off the cuff comment of Ouya 2 might be coming sooner than you think. But if you think about it, how long ago was that? I mean, and we've held on to that like it's like a gold nugget because that's all we've gotten. And you're right. Silence in some situations is mandatory, but in others it definitely can be detrimental. So I hear where you're coming from there.
Yeah.
But in a good light, and we'll get back on a positive track here. I believe Killswitch, did you say that you had a code as well for the listeners? And if so, what for?
Yes, I have a $10 code. Um, I decided to be nice. I could have used it for myself, but let's give it away.
Awesome.
What a
Thanks.
guy!
And unlike somebody, it's letters and numbers.
Wow.
Oh,
And Turtle Toy is not allowed to get this one. Turtle Toy, don't you do it? Let somebody else, you greedy bastard. I mean, keep keep going with it, man. It's cool.
maybe I should switch it up a little so that it slows him down.
Or like leave out a. Is there like a letter that has Ouya in it, like OUYA, and just leave that.
Uh, you know what? I do have one.
Okay, just leave that
Oh,
out, and then they have to guess 4 times.
Hey, you know what? I'll make it a little harder than that. They'll have to guess one of the numbers.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. All of you sitting there waiting. It is YG. Damn, I can't even think of a Y word to help out.
Yo yo.
Yak garbage. There you go. 7F. F as in Frank. V as in Victor. K as in kite. E as in Eddie. And here's where you will have a number that you have to guess. P as in Paul. X as in xylophone.
sweet.
Oh.
And, should give that to them again just in case.
Yeah.
That's YG 7 FVKE. Missing number PX.
Awesome.
Now I'm trying to look for this interview. There's so many interviews with Julie, and I don't know which one we're talking about.
With
I
Fox.
see
Oh,
Engadget.
Fox.
Yeah, I tried. It's still not coming up with anything. There's Dice Summit. There's interview for Dweebcast. There's a lot of stuff, but I don't see Fox. At least not like it as far as the description goes. But hey,
Oh,
you never know, man. Let's leave it at this here, okay? And we'll wrap this up here. Uh, there is going to be an Ouya announcement at GDC 2015. That's the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. That happens March, I think it's 2nd through the 6th, I want to say. And that is going to be where they're going to announce something. They didn't really say. So,
Who's they?
well, Ouya is going to be there, and they said that they're gonna make an announcement, but it could be the next OTA, update. Who knows? So who knows? Could be Ouya 2, could be anything. I don't know. But Brandon, I believe you had some questions for Killswitch, and then we'll wrap it up with him since he was so gracious in joining us today.
Well, yeah, Killswitch is a big part of the Ouya community, and he's actually working on a Ouya game himself. Tell us about your game that you're developing. I know you have like some gameplay on YouTube, and let us know what's going on with that.
the game is named Astra Ethereum. Uh, Ignore the gameplay that's on YouTube. That's just alpha material. The game will be different from what's there.
Okay.
Uh, Unfortunately, ran into several issues, which happens in development. The game started out as a simple contest game, was like a $10,000 contest. I wanted two stages. I wanted two voices for the stages. I made a post on the forum. I got 10 different people wanting to throw their voice in the game. I didn't expect that at all. So at that point, I decided turn it into a full length game. Uh, the game should be out, hopefully, with no further art delays or any other issues, should be out this month.
Awesome.
Uh, you'll have 10 or 11 stages. There's one that I added in at the end, which may not be in the game. Uh, Basically, it's a bullet hell, shoot 'em up. You'll have power ups, you'll have dialogue for each stage. It has a story. So it's not going to be just your regular shoot 'em up game, no content or anything.
Okay.
Uh,
And what engine are you using?
Unity.
Yeah.
Those of you who know, I'm basically an evangelist for Unity. It's one of the easiest engines to get used to. And if you know C sharp, it's perfect. There are people who will say they use Unreal and whatever else, which is fine. I'm not one of those who says, no, my engine's better. But Unity made this simple to create. I even have a programming helper who uses Unity also. He's also on the forum and does freelance work if anyone needs help with that too.
Okay.
So hopefully this month should have the whole thing complete. I just first it was a music delay. Oh, I'll make the whole soundtrack for your game. Don't hear from them for 2 weeks. Hey, what happened? Oh, I got lost. And then it kept going. Now I have an art delay because there's a few missing parts, and I may have to redo the whole GUI for the game. It sucks, but it's just something that happens.
Part of it comes with the territory, right?
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yes.
So you have two bonus levels. You can have a voiceover from Eldon and Judah.
I didn't think of that, but that might be possible.
Yeah, he put the comment in our chat on the YouTube video.
Because that extra level that I mentioned, I just created some funny dialogue between me and a member named Starfighter, which most people know. And he just knocked out the lines. It's right now it's sitting as a possible bonus stage for the Ouya version of the game. So it might be possible to add Eldon and Mini Skynet.
Awesome. Well,
The, the only thing I want to hear out of that entire thing is that your choice of programming tools is better. I mean, I know you said you weren't going to say it, but come on, man, just say it. Get it off your chest.
Well,
you're probably more familiar with it than anything else, right? You're more comfortable with it.
yeah, can't argue that. I was a pro. Basically, I was Judah. I started on computers when I was 4. So I
Okay.
have over 30 years of experience doing this stuff. And once I get into something, I pretty much stick with it unless there's a reason to change. So for you, Unity Master Race. That's all I have to say.
And that's all I want. It's not necessarily that I agree with it. It's that I love stirring the pot and just seeing what happens. It makes me happy. So now that I've heard that, now we can finish this glorious 50th episode of the Ouya Cast, if Brandon's okay with it.
Yeah, just one last question. Is it gonna, is the game gonna have be? I guess what is I'm trying to say? Is it gonna have the Ouya everywhere ODK in it?
Oh, that's something we didn't even mention at all. We had a brief comment. I do plan to put it on, to do the Ouya everywhere. I mean, to me, everyone should have a chance to play games. I mean, This whole, oh, I'm not putting it here, I'm not putting it here. To me, that's ridiculous. So Mojo, X, whatever the X company is, Alibaba, all the others, it's coming.
Hmm.
I mean, it's going to
Awesome.
be, it's going to fire. It'll be there.
Right.
And just for you, if you haven't checked on the forum, I am going to remaster the game. The game's going to have some changes so that it can go to Steam and PlayStation also.
Okay. So it's gonna be
Very
everywhere.
awesome.
Exactly. Oh yeah, everywhere.
It's a way to do it.
Awesome, awesome. I can't think of anything else for the questions about that.
Well, then
Um,
I say we find out if you can click the stop button in time for it to actually stop when the show's done this time. What do you
yeah,
think?
I can. I have a new button. Um, so yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you, Killswitch, for coming on the show with us, and
Yes, thank you.
we'll definitely be in touch with you throughout
Thanks.
throughout the rest of this Ouya adventure for us, for all
Well,
three of us
thanks.
here.
Thanks for having me. And if you need me, just ask. I'll be on.
All right, awesome. But so that's it. This for this week, guys. Catch us next week at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is Brandon from OUYACentral.tv.
And Steve from OUYABrew.com. Here's hoping for another 50 episodes of the OUYAcast.
Ooh yeah. Catch you guys later. Bye.